Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload is going to be a video about the snowstorm potential that is growing, and really at this point pretty likely that we will be looking at a pretty large system across the northern central United States. The system is very large. It will be widespread across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, Kansas, and into Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, I think I already said that, and Indiana. But nevertheless, this system is not going to have the hardest hitting snowfall totals. They're not going to be too awfully heavy, it seems. They're going to be definitely impactful, though, to a great extent, as, again, it's a big, large system. So, thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. It really means a lot. If you could like this video, for those that often view my channel, that really helps this channel out a lot. If you are new and you like this this channel, consider giving it a subscription. Check out the channel first. I'm not making you subscribe if it's worthy only. So thank you so much for doing that. So let's look at the GFS model and see what is going on. So right now we're starting at 006, and this storm basically is already starting to develop across Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, into the panhandle of Oklahoma and panhandle of Texas, those areas, the Four Corners. There's another system coming off the coast, which is going to really propagate a lot of this moisture into the United States, into the central United States, where the area of the heaviest snow will be occurring. Notice that these systems are kind of unconnected. I mean, yes, it really does move pretty quickly, this moisture across parts of the mountains, through the mountains. It really quickly just gets out here, but it's mainly the moisture from the central Pacific out here by the Baja Peninsula that really gets its game going tomorrow midday. It really, starts in the morning as well. You can see parts of Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa already getting some snow, that is transitioning into some sleet, freezing rain. Then that spreads into Minneapolis, Minnesota, Rhinelander, Green Bay, possibly seeing some snow just a little bit later on. But by the evening hour, the lunchtime, or not the evening commute, you could see that there could be some moderate snow occurring across areas like Davenport, Des Moines, Iowa, Minneapolis, Chicago. So all those areas with their evening commute will get impacted by some heavier snow, which will come down really fast and really quick. And the winds may be blowing pretty strong as well with this system. So that is not really a good thing with the winds, adding on to the heavy wet snow. It's going to be pretty blinding. The snowfall rates are going to be easily an inch to an inch and a half per hour. Thankfully, this doesn't last too long before it transitions to a freezing rain sleet mix across the southern locations. Now, exactly how this occurs is still, I guess, not really set in stone, as from yesterday we have not, we have solidified the track of the storm, solidified that where the I guess the heaviest snow will fall and where the heaviest rain will fall. However, we have not solidified that rain-snow line, and not much confidence. The models today have not given us much confidence at all with this winter storm. So that's a little bit unfortunate. We still have several models like the GEM, the Canadian, and the RGEM showing snow. More of a snowy solution rather than icy, and then we have the GFS European showing more of an icy solution. Again, I'm probably going to go with the icy solution at this point, as it seems like the thermal profiles will be definitely supportive of that. This low will be bringing in very warm moist air from the Gulf of Mexico. Not as much as a previous system, but still enough to kind of overpower that cold air and produce some freezing rain sleet. You could see after a while it transitions all to rain, but it seems like this rain is overdone here. And most of the precipitation that will fall is either as freezing rain or snow in this first kind of batch right here, as that will be very heavy precipitation, while the precipitation that is kind of behind that low pressure, which if you were to look at this system, it's a lot of it's in front of this low pressure. What's behind it, though, could drop a little bit more, but not much. The GFS puts out snowfall amounts pretty I guess, widespread across Minnesota, Wisconsin, 9 to, I guess, 6 to 10 inches widespread, right? But then across these locations, Missouri, Illinois, this is, overdone. As this, again, the GFS includes sleet in here, and it puts a freezing rain as snow accumulations when the map shows it. So this is not really trustworthy, these 6 inches amounts across Missouri and central southern Missouri. However, these amounts up here across parts of Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan, that could be more trustable. Still, I think fairly overdone. I don't think there will be 6-inch amounts widespread across northern Illinois. Seems more of a 3 to 5, at most 5 inches across northern Illinois, and Indiana as well. Iowa also seeing generally 4 to 6 inches. They have winter storm warnings, and I'm not sure if that's really unnecessary, as it seems like the 6 inches won't fall in that 12 hours. That's the criteria for warning, by the way. And it's just maybe because of the freezing rain they decided to do that, the freezing rain threat. But really not much of a difference between Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio snowfall amounts. They should all be reasonably be the same, and that doesn't really justify why some locations have a winter storm warning because others don't. If you were to look at the National Weather Service, it's just a whole area of advisories, which I'll show you in just a minute. But so that's a GFS. Let's look at the Canadian model and see what it puts out. And notice that it puts out way higher amounts across the northern Illinois, Indiana, and even in parts of Ohio, Detroit, Milwaukee, Chicago. All those cities could see way more snow if the Canadian were to be right. And notice that this is one of the models that again takes the snow pretty far to the south and really doesn't get that transition going at all across the Illinois, Indiana area. But we'll see. At this point, even if a little bit of mixing does occur, it shouldn't do much melting. If you're concerned about that, that should be the least of your concerns because of the travel. That's going to be a nightmare. If we see snow and we see rain on top of that, freezing rain that freezes over, as right behind that storm we see very chilly air. That could freeze right over, and that will cause just an all-out ice rink on the streets. So that's definitely not good news. Let's look at the RGEM model, which is I think ensemble of the GEM, which is a Canadian. I think the RGEM is Canadian, but it does a pretty good job most of the time. Usually, I don't like it. It's not one of my favorite models. Sometimes they'll show it, and notice that if we were to look at this, it also shows that rain, snow not reaching northern Illinois, northern Indiana really at all. And I'm confident that it overdoes the snowfall amounts. Like that won't be occurring across northern Illinois. That may be occurring across Minnesota, Wisconsin, but even those amounts, the 8-inch amounts seem maybe a little bit high for those locations. One thing that we did get kind of new information from is that the Minnesota, Wisconsin area, northern Wisconsin, central Minnesota may get a little bit less snow than expected because of just the storm elongating and not really delivering its full potential up there. It was a little bit overestimated. However, again, I would still say 6 to 10 inches is still fairly possible. So it's not like completely disappeared, just slightly lower snowfall totals. This is the NAM 12KM. Again, the NAM it's ridiculous with the snowfall totals. Shows 10 inches across southern Missouri where not even a single snowflake will fall, really. But a little bit of ice may fall. Notice that again the snow breaks out around tomorrow early morning. It's already happening across the panhandles right now, except it moves into the central country part of the country later on in the day and into the evening. Then transitions into a little bit of rain and snow mix, and then transitions back to snow. And this system really just pushes on into the northeast. Now, let's look at the snowfall accumulations from the European model, or just let's look at the European model altogether and notice that it does a very similar thing, delivers a lot of precipitation from the southern U.S. from central northern Mexico. A huge slug of precip moves out, and you can see lots of Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, Nebraska seeing some pretty moderate to very heavy snow at times. And again, it's not long-lived. If this were more of a west to east scenario, the storm and the snowfall amounts were very similar. This could have been a nightmare of a winter storm, a giant one. Thank goodness though, it's moving across the country into a little bit into a northeast fashion. You can see it kind of starts off here and moves off to the northeast, and that allows that wherever it's heavy snow, an hour or two. Max, that's how long it snows for, an hour or two, and then it moves into lighter snow or it transitions into some freezing rain or just rain, and that's where a large portion of the freezing rain will come from, that transition. And that's what will cut down on the snowfall totals as well, that rain to snow transition, as the snow won't be really long lived over a certain area. Let's look at some of the total snowfalls by the European model ECMWF. Notice it starts putting out some pretty high numbers across Iowa, Minnesota. Generally a little bit less than expected, but still a pretty nice storm, delivering 6 to 10 inches of fluffy snow across Minnesota, Wisconsin, and some heavier snow across the northern Illinois area, northern Iowa, southern Michigan. If you live in southern Michigan, it's central southern Michigan, you could actually see quite a bit of snow out of this, 8-10 inches. So this one may be your storm. So don't get, don't be like, oh, rain to snow, that's gonna ruin our chances. You could get a lot of snow from this. I think Michigan might be the hardest hit state out of all of this. And then notice into the northeast as well, some pretty nice amounts. They got quite a bit of snow yesterday across the northern interior northeast, and now they're going to see some more snow, another 6 to 10 inches, which they got yesterday already. Notice that the snowfall amounts are, again, getting further up north you go, higher, further south you get nothing, slim to nothing at least, and it cuts down as that rain to snow and ice transition will be mainly over that area, or just rain will be over that area. So that's about it for today's video. Just wanted to give you an update on the storm. And thank you so much for watching. Consider liking the video. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll catch you all guys on the next episode. See ya. Bye.